Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Oh, you've got music going through. Did you? No.
this whole thing's got a bit of a shake.
Damien Ryan, how AFL, and Barney.
Chris, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, valued partners, supporters and sponsors of AFLNT and members of the press, welcome to this morning's historic announcement. May I formally welcome Ministers Simon Crean and Warren Snowden, Chief Minister Paul Henderson and Senator Trish Crossan, as well as Damien Ryan, Chair of RDANT, Barney Glover, Deputy Chair of RDANT, members of the Aboriginal Benefit Accounts Committee, Kim Hill, the CEO of the Northern Land Council, Wally Wallangmurra, the Chairman of the Northern Land Council, and Phil Martin from the AFL in Melbourne. As most of you will know, this oval we are standing on has seen many historic and pivotal NT football matches upon its hallowed turf. But today, this announcement may very well be the most significant event in the history of Northern Territory football. Today's announcement will see the dream of one of the Territory's most inspirational figures, AFL legend Michael Long, become a reality. The Michael Long NT Thunder Learning and Leadership Centre is of monumental importance to the future of the Northern Territory, and I'd like to call on the Chief Minister Paul Henderson to outline the Northern Territory Government's support for this project, a project that promises to play an important role in creating the leaders of tomorrow. The Chief Minister of the Northern Territory.
Thank you, Charlie, and good morning, everyone. First of all, can I start by paying my respects to the traditional owners of this land, the Larrakia people. To ministerial colleagues, Simon, Warren and Trish here, Michael, Barney, everybody else that's here today, welcome. As Charlie said, this really is an absolute milestone for not only footy in the Northern Territory, but Indigenous education in the Northern Territory as well. And I'm so proud to be here today with Michael to see his dream fulfilled. This Leadership and Learning Academy is Michael's dream. Michael has been speaking to me, to the federal government, to the AFL for some years now about his dream to develop this Learning and Leadership Centre here at Marara to give Indigenous kids right around the Northern Territory who love their football, who are engaged in AFL programs around the Northern Territory, an opportunity to come to Darwin, to a world-class facility here that will really focus not only on developing their footballing skills and talent, but also, really importantly, the critical importance of education and lifelong learning, health, nutrition, and to have accommodation here at Marara that can make those dreams a reality for those kids in the bush. And to me, when Michael outlined that vision, it made absolute sense. From kids out there right across the Northern Territory, yes, coming to Darwin is a challenge, but one of the greatest challenges is, if you're bringing a large number of kids, is where are they going to stay? And what better place to stay than in this fabulous new academy that will have world-class education facilities, gymnasium facilities, great access to nutritious food, and being able to also develop the amazing football talent that we have here in the Northern Territory. To me, it seemed to be the perfect recipe and the perfect package. I'd like to pay absolute tribute to Michael for his real tenacious push to actually get this happen. You know, Michael has been working with me, working with the federal government, working with the AFL, the ABA board and all of the board members to really keep this moving along. And it's a great tribute to Michael that he's been able to harness all of these entities to get the funding to make this dream a reality today. And I'm very confident that when we look back on this in 10 and 20 years' time, we will see this particular day today announcing the development of the Learning and Leadership Centre as being one of the turning points, if not the turning point, in terms of Indigenous education and better education outcomes for Indigenous kids right across the Territory. I'm very confident that that will be the case, because our Indigenous kids across the Territory, they're absolutely as capable as achieving as the best of the best kids in Australia. They just need to be given the confidence, the self-esteem, the motivation and the real belief in themselves that they can achieve. And I really think with Michael's leadership and this academy, it's going to transform Indigenous kids' lives right around the Northern Territory for the better. So I'm really proud to be here today. I'd also, in closing, just say to Michael, you're an absolute legend in more ways than one. And we all remember, you know, the great football skills that Michael had. But in terms of Michael, he could have stayed in Melbourne after a stellar footy career. You know, Michael, you could probably have made a fortune in terms of media down south. But Michael decided that no, he wasn't going to do that. He was going to come back to the Northern Territory and really put in the Northern Territory and give these Aboriginal kids across the Territory the same opportunities that he had to shine and to be an absolute star. And Michael, you're a legend. Congratulations, mate. This is a dream come true for you, and I'm sure that everybody here, please give Michael a great big round of applause, because this is a fantastic day for the Territory. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Minister. I now have the pleasure of asking the Honourable Simon Crean, Minister for Regional Australia, Regional Development and Local Government, to announce the RDAF support of this exciting project. Minister Simon Crean.
Thanks very much, Charlie and Paul. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Oh, yeah. The kids can come up the front? Yeah, come up the front. This is your future. We want to connect with you today and for the rest of your lives. So come forward. And I think you can see from this that what this academy is going to do is to involve girls as well as boys. And I think that's one of the fantastic achievements that's associated with this, and it's been part of Michael's vision. There's an injury already. Let's hear it for the kids and their future. Well done, guys. Well, look, it's a pleasure to be here. Come back to Darwin. I always get a warm welcome. In fact, last night I got a warmer one than most, because when they evacuated us from the hotel with the fire in the building, it made for a restless night. But this is a great initiative that we're up here for today. In many ways, it tells the story of a passion, Michael's passion. It tells the story of persistence, because this was a funding exercise that didn't get up in the first round, but it got up in the second round because we reshaped it. We understood what needed to be done and we got it up. But most of all, it's an example also of partnership. Because if we look at these things, great initiatives as they are, no one government or community can do it on their own. But collectively, as a nation, we can. If we understand the significance of it and what it's trying to do, collectively as governments, we can make it happen. And this is a partnership between governments, between Paul's government and between ours. And but for the sum of the parts, the whole of the part wouldn't be happening. The important message, not just about what you've got today, but it's an important message for regional Australia. The other important thing about this is that whilst it's housed in a capital city, its reach is to remote and regional communities. It's linking the communities to the hub and doing it in a way that not only offers opportunity, it helps us do important things in terms of closing the gap. There are two passions that young kids have. One is sport, the other is the arts. If we can tap those passions and connect them to learning skills, to life skills, to educational opportunity, to improving yourself, to making yourself better, and learning from your role models. Because I agree with Paul. Michael could have done anything when his football days were finished. But what he chose to do was to say, I got my opportunity through football, and I want to lead a campaign to ensure many others get their opportunity through it as well. When I was Trade Minister, Michael, I followed in your footsteps to the Boomerangs who played in South Africa. And they were always struck by the message that you gave the President of South Africa, Thomas Mbeki, when you said the Indigenous population in Australia is around 2% of the total population, but when it comes to playing football, they represent 10%, 11% of the league list. That has seen a huge growth in recent years because of the growth that's happened, but that impressed Mbeki, so much so that we are assisting over there the development of their communities through football, through Aussie rules. And in fact, one of the trainees, Byundai, came down and he was part of the Greater Western Sydney list, but he came in on a traineeship which we also fund together with the AFL. When I look at what we're going to build here in terms of the academy, the Maurice Rioli Academy, and it's not the Maurice Rioli Academy, I look across at the Maurice Rioli stand. I was struck the other day when we were at the Maurice Rioli room down at the Richmond Footy Club. And what we were doing there was connecting the arts from Indigenous artists with this great game of football. We had a competition for the Richmond Football Club and the Dreamtime round to design the strip. It was open to Indigenous artists and the winner was announced in that room. This is another example of the connection we would like to make. But you can't do it unless you've got the infrastructure, and you can't do it unless you've got the leadership. Today, we recognise the leadership in Michael Long, in the Northern Territory, AFL, the AFL itself, the role of governments. That's leadership coming together to do it. We recognise the infrastructure that we're constructing. Now we've got to make the content, the course material, the input and the activity that will give you, we hope, greater opportunity. We're prepared to do it. The challenge for you guys is to make the most of those opportunities. But with these sorts of facilities going forward, I'm sure you'll be encouraged. I'm sure you'll be inspired. You've got great leadership and inspiration through Michael. Make the most of it and be your best. It's a great pleasure to be associated with this announcement today. Thank you.
I thank you, Minister Crean, for playing such an important role in bringing this project to life. I now would like to welcome the member for Lingiari, ladies and gentlemen, the Honourable Warren Snowden, Minister for Indigenous Health.
Thanks, Charlie. Can I acknowledge the Larrakia, the traditional owners? A lot has been said already about the great Michael Long, but I think we should also just reflect for a moment on his family. And I see Jack here, his dad and his brothers, sisters. Can I say thank you to you? Because without you, we don't have Michael. But importantly, you've inspired him and you've made sure that he's had values which we're now seeing expressed in this work today. So can I say to Jack and to all your family, thank you. You know, people make unique contributions in their lives, and Michael has made a unique contribution. I well recall the great grand final in which he was awarded the Norm Smith Medal. We're reminded from Maurice Rioli's stand, but Maurice awarded him the medal on that particular day. A proud day for the Tiwi, a proud day for the Territory. And I'm sure if Maurice were here today, he'd be expressing his great applause for you, Michael, and paying tribute to the work that you're doing and the leadership you're showing. And I see amongst the crowd here a number of other people who have been centrally associated with the AFL over many years. Russell Jeffrey, for example, David Ross, and there are many others. These are people who have gone before, and these young people sitting before us, they need to tread the pathway, but to tread the pathway they need to make sure they get a good education. They need to get a good education, and we need to make sure that they are healthy. And that's what this program, for me, provides. An opportunity to ensure that young Territorians, from the bush largely, get an opportunity at a good education and see this as a mechanism, this institute as a mechanism to keep them at school and keep them healthy. Because if we have young kids who are educated and healthy, we'll have adults who are educated and healthy and live longer. And that, to me, is the ultimate. Football, yes, very, very important to the Northern Territory, as are other sports, soccer, netball, hockey. They're all very important. But ultimately, it's about life. And ultimately, it's about making sure young people get an opportunity. And what Michael's doing here through his inspiration, I have to say, he's a very persistent bugger. And over a number of years now, he's been badgering the buggery out of me, I can tell you, about this particular idea. And he's been able to develop the partnerships that are required to make sure it happened. And I want to thank the AFL. Phil, if you could pass on my thanks to the AFL for ensuring that they were partners in this process. And I say to the AFL, there is a lot more to do, a lot more to do. This is only the start. This is only the start. And I can see how we might actually spin off this in all parts of the Northern Territory, not by replicating what's happening here, but by spinning off it. And there are unique opportunities that are provided to us as a result of this great initiative. To Simon, thank you for the $7.5 million. Ultimately, very, very important to all of us, but it's very, very important to the whole community. You know, I have the great privilege, the great honour of representing every Aboriginal community outside of Darwin and Palmerston in the Northern Territory, in the federal parliament. And I see young people wanting to do things, but seeing that the capacity to do it is limited by access to services, access to facilities, access to inspiration. Well, Michael, through this, you're providing the inspiration, we're providing the facilities, we're providing the opportunity. And it's now up for these young people in front of us to take advantage of it, to see what they can do as a result of these services being provided to them. And I know that what it will mean, and Paul made the point about what this might mean to future generations, be left in no doubt at all what this will mean. It will mean young people who today can't find success will find success. It will mean young people today who are finding it very difficult to stay at school will stay at school. And you'll be able to partner with already very successful programs through Clontarf and others to make sure they do stay at school. And if they do stay at school, they'll get the education we all want them to have, and they'll live a longer and healthier life. I'm really very, very proud to be here this morning. And again, to Mr. Long and his family, thank you for being here. But to Michael, you have truly been an inspiration. And I want to thank you for your persistence, your diligence, your hard work, and your leadership. Thank you.
Thank you, Warren. Thank you, Minister Snowden. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to invite football legend, dual premiership player, Norm Smith medalist, AFL and AFLNT Hall of Famer, member of the Indigenous Team of the Century and the Essendon Team of the Century, and the passionate driving force behind the project being announced today, to say a few words on what is no doubt a very, very special day for him. Ladies and gentlemen, Michael Long.
Firstly, I'd like to thank everyone for coming along today and being a part of this monumental announcement today. To Simon Crean, Warren Snowden, Mr. Paul Henderson, Phil Martin, Damien Ryan, and to CEO Tony Frawley and Trish Crossan, thank you very much. Obviously your support and what's happened today is it hasn't just been one person, it's been so many that support us along the way. And obviously, I only handed you a little bit snowy, I reckon, but thank you, thank you. Firstly, today, the dream of the Michael Long Learning and Leadership Centre has become a reality because of the many people who share the same dream. As a proud Territory man, I am immensely proud and humble and grateful for the funding partners for sharing my vision of the future for our young Territorians. The Learning and Leadership Centre has for many years been a dream of mine, and knowing that the funding announcement today will allow construction to commence on this magnificent facility just 10 metres behind us fills me with great pride and gives me the feeling of hope for the future. I'd like to start by thanking the Chief Minister for believing in the vision and for sharing my passion for the project. Without Paul Henderson's support, we definitely wouldn't be here today, so thank you, Hendo. The NT government must be commended for the investment in the long-term future of Territorians, demonstrating remarkable generosity, but not only by providing $2.5 million in funding, but also allowing my dream to be realised, the land just behind us. I must also thank the Chief Minister for not mentioning last weekend's football results, the passionate football man, and Tony Frawley as well. He hadn't let me forget it either. But also profoundly grateful to Minister Crean and the RDA and the NT committee chaired by Damien Ryan for providing $7.5 million for the project. I'm proud that my long-held dream aligns strongly not only with the strategy of the RDA, but also the aspirations of the RDA, the NT committee for a strong NT economic that provides real jobs and opportunities for all our young Territorians, irrespective of their background, race and culture. Minister Crean, by supporting this project, the RDA is creating a positive opportunity for generations of young Territorians. Thank you, Minister Crean. Thank you. I'd like to thank the ABA committee members for their incredible support of $3.5 million funding they have committed to the project. I hold the committee members in such high regard as they each serve their community. By funding the Centre, the committee has gone on a long way to ensuring positive outcomes, tangible outcomes for the young Territorians in their respective communities. The ABA committee's support of the project will help young Territorians realise their full potential. I also must acknowledge Kim Hill, the Northern Land Council, the CEO, who had to leave early, and the Chairman, Wali Amara, who has supported the project from the beginning and whose ongoing support is crucial to our success, Michael Long Learning and Leadership Centre. So thank you, Kim and Wali. I'd also like to thank Minister Snowden, Minister Macklin and Senator Chris Crossan, not only for their guidance but also for their tremendous support for the project. I'm honoured that they have been a strong advocate for the project from its inception. Their support has allowed us to preserve when faced with obstacles along the way. Damien Hale, the former member for Solomon, has also been a supporter of the project as it has progressed. So thank you, Damien, and good luck with your coaching future as well with Nycliffe. I must also thank my family and friends, the staff of the AFLNT and NT Thunder, especially to Jodie Brown and Brad Stewart for their tireless work. And I must make mention of Steve Nugent. Steve, you've just been absolutely magnificent, and the work you've put in. Thank you, Steve. And to the many community organisations that we have consulted with and continue to consult, and importantly to allow here the attendance today for not only believing in this concept but helping it make to be a reality. It goes without saying that some of the proudest moments in my life has taken place on a football oval, and I must say that the standing here in this oval for today's announcement is up there with the best of them. My football life has been an incredible journey, and today is the next step in the next incredible journey. I have also known of the power of football. I need only to look at the life football has afforded not only myself but many young men I grew up with. Days like today make me stop and think what this great game of Australian rules football continues to do. Have we ever stopped to ask, to thank the game of Australian rules football? Thank the game of Australian rules football. It teaches us about respect, loyalty, friendship, skill, teamwork, a winning attitude, and importantly, it also teaches us about failure, success in equal measure. It challenges us. It brings out the emotions in us, laughter, tears, enormous pride, and the inner flame of a passion of our team that can never be extinguished. It is not an exaggeration to say that Australian rules sometimes defines us and who we are. It truly is the greatest game on earth. This is why I believe so strongly in the power of football. So thank you to the game of football. We must harness that unique power for the good of our community. And what better way to do that so then we can build on the state-of-art facility designed to deliver educational, sporting and leadership outcomes for our young Territorians. The Centre is long overdue and will provide us with the ability to empower today's young Territorians to become the leaders of tomorrow by immersing them in a modern football-themed learning environment. Rest assured that this facility will place a strong emphasis on life skills as well as football skills. Many of our young Territorians who will use this facility will benefit from the unique educational modules the Centre will provide. Having said that, I have no doubt that the football gods will bless the facility and many of the football stars of tomorrow will be graduates of the Learning and Leadership Centre. And I'm privileged to be a member of the AFL Indigenous Team of the Century, and hopefully that the next Indigenous Team of the Century will be stacked with Territorians who will have passed through the centre. So as I finish up, once again, thanking all those who believed in the concept, the NT Government, ABA, NLC, the AFL, and Simon Crean, thank you. Once again, Warren Snowden. But before I finish up, however, there is one person I'd like to acknowledge. He's a man that barracks for the wrong team. He has football genes. He comes from a well-known football family himself, and he's shared the dream of the NT Thunder Football Club and the dream of the Learning and Leadership Centre. Tony Frawley, if you could please join me up here. Tony's passion for this dream has been remarkable, and his unwavering belief, and the project is one. This project has been one of the main reasons why we are standing here today, to see the dream come through. So this man right here beside me has shared that same dream, and this is as much as his as it is mine. So Tony, I'd love to give you the opportunity to chat.
Thanks, Michael, and welcome to all the special guests, the ministers and government, and particularly Jack and all the family. Great to see you there. It's been a privilege to know Michael since I've been up here and know his family and get involved, and they're just a fantastic footy family. And I'm not going to talk too much about the concept, but you know, it's been a lot of work. We've been working at it for about 4 years, and we've had some good times along the way as well, when we've been doing our fundraising and lobbying and so forth. But no, look, when we spoke about it a few years ago, and we thought, well, let's have a go at it, and we did it. And I think it's, Michael talks about me, but really to go out and sell a concept with Michael Long's name behind it is pretty easy. People say, look, you've raised a lot of money, but when you've got a name like that to be able to sell to government, to sell to corporates, and we haven't even really touched the corporate world yet. We'll be, in the next few months, rounding everyone up and making sure we've got some really strong partnerships with the university here, Charles Darwin, the Education Department and NT Health as well, and all our training providers. So we'll do all that in the next few months. So be patient, we'll come to you fairly soon. But I want to congratulate Michael on the achievement, and hopefully we'll see a very good facility here in a few months. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Tony Frawley. Thank you, ministers, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the press. There will now be a 10-minute press call, after which you're all invited to attend morning tea, which will be served in the Cantillas function room up on level 3. Thank you for your attendance.
Peter.